Okay guys, our map is getting to a reasonable size. I think it's time to test before we go any further. So obviously this is going to be a booster pad, so let's change our color to a booster pad color. And yes, now we'll actually need to start grabbing stuff from the template to put in this map to ensure it works. So first thing I want you guys to do is just save it, and we'll go grab our template. So we'll go open, navigate to your Bhop template. Great. And now, so that we can copy entities over, we're going to go Window and Cascade, and that's just going to split our views up. We can see both maps here. So in the template, we're going to need the point server command, we're going to need the logic auto, and we're going to need the damage filter, and may as well just copy over this whole stack actually. Do we need anything else for now? Nope. So, yep, pretty simple. Control C, come back to our map. Let's go back to the spawn. Fly over here, and just hit Control V. And we also need our trigger multiple down here. Control C, Control V to turn off the fall damage. Oh, yep, and we also, of course, need the booster pad. Control C. And if you don't want to fly all the way back over there, we can just select the booster pad here and go to View, Center 3D View on Selection, and it will just teleport us over here. Control V, put that there. Now we're going to have to play test this to calibrate the boost. At the moment, we know it's at 500 velocity upwards. I think it's going to need to be a little higher, 750. Hit apply. Okay. Now, obviously, we're exposed to the void, so this map is not going to compile. First of all, let's just expand that out again. So rather than going through and putting all the walls in, we might actually be deleting those walls later. So instead, we're just going to grab a block, not a func detail, hold down Shift, drag it down so that it's in line with the bottom of the map. Maybe make it a more pleasing color to the eye, and 5, apply, and just drag that out over the entire map. Yep. Shift, drag it up, across, grab your two walls, Shift, using that rotation trick I showed you. Just quickly rotate them. Make sure there's no gaps. Drag up the roof. We're just thicken that out a bit because these walls will be periodically deleted. And then we can just go to our Tools, Sky, and apply textures. Apply the skybox texture, so light's just going to flood in from every direction. It's going to look like terrible. Yeah, so at the moment the map's in a big box. This is really inefficient because the entire map's going to render at once. But for testing, it's fine. So let's compile this and test our map. Okay guys, now we can test our map. So it compiled successfully. We have enough lighting to see what's going on, but it looks like a crap map. So let's just go through. We're just checking that the block spacing is appropriate and that the map flows reasonably well. Yep, first couple levels are just for, better players will just be using it to speed up. Newer players will probably find it somewhat challenging. I'm just making sure there's nothing that completely destroys the flow. Yep, it's still pretty easy here. Maybe we can add some interesting geometry to create some interesting skips, and our Bhop booster pad is not high enough. So that's why we calibrate. Nope, not going to make it. And the speed required, I think if we push that up to 1000, it should be good. So let's go make those changes now. And the rest of the map I think is doing okay for now. Okay guys, so we need to adjust that booster. So again, it's easier just to select it in the 2D view and then go center 3D view on selected. double click this, and let's change the output from 750 to, I think it's going to need to be 1200, that's just a guess. Let's review what we've built so far. I actually think the flow is decent. I don't think there needs to be too much done there. I just might go back quickly and shape some of the blocks differently to make it a little more interesting, and maybe just add some base, some kind of geometries just to make the flow a little different. So that'll be a speed map section. Okay, we've made the map a little bit more interesting, just adding some basic geometry, kind of break up the flow. Maybe later we can change them into more interesting pieces. And we fix that block, so the booster pad, so we can now test. Okay guys, once again, go through our map, see how we feel about it. These kinds of blocks can, it's like if a room is too big and empty, the player might feel uncomfortable about having to b-hop unnecessarily around it. Okay, that boost is probably a bit too high. We can adjust that. Cool. So it's just, at the moment, it's just a very basic speed map. Might need to add a couple more blocks to help speedrunners get through it. Otherwise, it's doing okay.